All right, hi guys. Amanda here, and I just wanted to kind of do an update. So at the beginning of the year, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to post a video every day because I want to, want to communicate with everyone, but I also wanted to like have a dialogue, share my day, my ups, my downs." A lot of people, since I left television news and started working in PR, I was like under a tunnel for a whole year. I mean, I was maybe a year and a half. And then we moved again, and I've been a housewife now. Gosh, I think I'm going on almost, 2 years, a year and a half of being a housewife. During which time I started like 3 businesses, a nonprofit, consulting company, and I just started my third LLC. So like behind the scenes, quietly kind of making some moves and kind of setting some stuff in position. But my majority primary role, my title is housewife, okay, wife of the house. And I saw a special about like what it's like being a housewife and how a lot of women are redefining the roles or bringing the roles back. And it's kind of interesting because I get asked a lot of times by different people. Do I like it? How do I feel about it? What's it like? Do I miss working? And sometimes I'm just like, it depends on the day. Like most days I don't. But there are some days that I do miss, being out, working, seeing people, being in person, day to day, or doing things that I feel, make a difference. So I won't say that I won't say that I don't miss that. But that being said, here's what it's like being a housewife. One, if you're someone and you're interested in being a housewife, say you're working full time and you're like, I always wanted to be a housewife or stay at home with my daughter, my son, my child. Well, there's some things that you have to do. Well, and there's some things that you need to know. One thing, the reason why we did it was because our daughter was diagnosed with blood disease, and she basically was told to be in a bubble, not be around family, friends, and to not go to school or daycare. So it was just like a challenge for us. So we decided to make some tough decisions. I walked away from my career, and my husband took a promotion. We moved out of state. We sold our house. We'd only been living there for less than a year, and we moved. Thank God we bought a new house in Florida. But one, you have to be prepared for that change. Two, I would say set the expectations. Like, does your spouse expect you to cook? Does your spouse expect you to clean? Does your spouse expect you to, take care of the business stuff? I mean, some households, the men pay all the bills and they handle everything. If it's something with the car, they take care of it. If it's an issue with a ticket or a bill or registration is due, they're on top of everything. Like they run the entire household. The wife just, not just, but the wife is in charge of the house in terms of cooking and cleaning and making sure the kids are good, which that can be a lot if they're not in school. Teaching and reading to them and just spending time with them all day can sometimes be a little taxing, especially with toddlers. They're busy. So I would say, define what it would look like for your relationship. Our relationship is kind of a hybrid situation. I'm very, meticulous, and obviously with my background, I'm very good with, tracking stuff down, being detail oriented, trying to figure out, if something's wrong, something's right, what we need, what we don't have, just anything from a warranty issue with the house, filing that, to someone stole a license plate. We moved to New Jersey and had been using it and ran up our toll bill. So I had to track that down, just different things like that. So I would say, one, definitely establish that, because you want to know, what we're going to be doing. What does it look like for you? Because you might find out your spouse is like, I expect you to cook, clean, take care of things, take care of the child, help my mom, do this, call around, make sure the bills are paid, make sure everything's set up. I mean, your list might be way longer than going to work 9 to 5. Like for some people, it may be easier to go to work and get out the house. Or if you have multiple kids, that are at home. These are the things you want to consider. Secondly, I would say, have someone to talk to that understands you, or, be prepared for possibly marriage counseling, therapists, a pastor. someone that can kind of intervene. We've been in literally 4 different scenarios where they have been like life-changing situations, maybe more than that, from the moving to the new jobs to what they call life events. Birth of our child, sickness of our child, my sickness a couple times. I've had to have multiple surgeries. Her birth, after her birth, and then again a year later, and then again. So these are just, major changes that can put stress on a relationship. And if that is something that you don't do well with, some people, I'm sure, we're going through something, let's just love on each other, everything's great. And some people are like, this is your fault. No, this is your fault. Well, you should have did this. Well, if I would have did that, fight. So if you're that type of person or that type of couple, then be prepared for that. That can be an issue too. So that's the second thing. Have someone to talk to, therapist, licensed, pastor, someone who knows what they're doing and means you well in your relationship, that wants to see couples win. That's another thing important. You don't want to talk to someone who is bitter or who does not want to see you win, because that will be detrimental to your relationship. Very important. Thirdly, I would say respecting and setting boundaries. This is something that I'm not or haven't been good with. I'm not a boundary setter. I can be a people pleaser. I can put other people before myself. And after having my daughter, I started thinking differently. And then with my career change, I really started thinking differently. And I was like, okay, I can't put work first. I can't put my boss first. I can't put other people first, strangers, even people in the community that I love or didn't even know that I would help before I'd help myself. And now I'm like, I have to put, God first always. I've always done that, but I have to put my family first. And I, even within my family, have to set boundaries, and I have to put my health first. And I remember my friend telling me when I was in Orlando, she was like, you've got to put boundaries with your kids. Like, you can't let your kids rule you too. And I was like, I never thought of that. Like, my daughter Naomi tells me what to do, and I'm her, her assistant. I need milk. I need a straw. I need a napkin. I need food. Turn the TV. I mean, I would find myself like getting up, sitting, like I would not even eat. I would not even use the bathroom because I'm running behind her. And when I realized that I had to set boundaries with her, I was like, you know what? I don't have to be tired and stressed out. I can do this and she can wait. And so I started using, okay, well, you'll need to wait. It's mommy's turn to eat or mommy's turn to use the bathroom. And so that was something I learned, boundaries. And then boundaries with your spouse. I had to set boundaries with my husband. No, I'm not going to be able to do that. I have to do this first for me, and then I can do that. I spent several months, maybe a year, making appointments for my daughter, making sure she had everything she had, setting up stuff for a house, doing everything for everyone else in the household but myself, and my health failed because of it. I was having issues after my birth of my daughter, and it's like, putting it aside and not dealing with it and not helping myself allowed for me to find myself in the ER just a few months ago and having major surgery and being on my back and not being able to do anything for several weeks and having to be cared for by my sister-in-law, Pauline. I appreciate you for that. My husband offered to take off work, but I didn't want him to because, I have that family system, that village that's there for me. So it worked out. But keep in mind, not everyone has that. And so you don't want to be lying in the hospital and your family is missing you, or worse. I remember, my mom saying, you could be dead and gone. And then what, your husband may find another wife. And I'm not talking about my husband, but just in general. So you want to take care of yourself. Your health is your wealth. And I can't stress that enough because so often we have a pain or something from childbirth that's still bothering us, or just any little thing. And, we've had headaches or stress-related things, and we're just like, it'll be okay. I'll just get around to it. Don't put yourself off, sis. Take care of yourself. So those are just a few things that I can think of off the top of my head. I'll be recording more videos, let's hope. Last time I said this, by the way, I did not do it, and it's not my fault. I tried to record like a second video the next day. My daughter fell off the dresser. I had to call 911. And I'm laughing because she was okay and it wasn't serious. But it was just like, oh my God. And then the next day she had to go to the hospital like 2 days later for something else. And it just kept piling on. And I was like, I set an unreasonable expectation that I was going to have time to sit here and record a video every day for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So imagine that. So anyway, if there's something you'd like for me to share or talk about being a housewife, while I am one, I'm actually thinking about going back to work or doing something now that I've gotten some good news about Naomi and her medical condition, which I plan to share in another video. So ask away while you can. And for all the housewives out there, keep pushing, sisters. I know it's a struggle, but we got this. Be blessed.